Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Today is May 4th, 2015. This is show 93, and the name of the show is The Missing Link. I know you're going to say, Rich, what, are you going to talk about creationists today? No. I don't want to, nothing to do about creationists. You know, this has nothing, you know, your grandpappy was not a gorilla, and you know Jesus. You know, we're not going to talk about Jesus riding on dinosaurs. Today we're going to talk about the missing link in technology. We want to talk about the fundamental transformation of how we do business when it comes to electricity. Guys, hopefully on this show we can put some money in your pocket. And tonight, we're primarily going to introduce you to the Tesla battery. And guys, this is going to blow you away. And when you see the numbers, you're going to say, Rich, how do I get one? And guys, believe me, this is going to be the wave of the future. And the second half of the show, we're going to show you a consilience of evidence. And guys, you're going to say, Rich, a consilience of evidence? Did you go Harvard on us? Guys, believe it or not, I'm taking a college course on climate denial. I'm from the University of Queensland. It's a 7-week course, and you can take it. You know, you can even take it up until the last week. You don't have to go week by week. But we're going to and guys, it's going to be an education. This is going to be a learning experience. And this is the one thing that we talk about in this show. It's about sharing, about learning, about using the internet, about Facebook. Guys, you know, I want to say hi to all my buddies on Facebook. And I tell you, we got a bunch of deniers on Facebook. I'm not going to mention any by name, but you know, I call it the Facebook follies. Because that's what it's like. These guys are a joke. And you hear the same denial techniques over and over again. And guys, we're not putting up with it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. But we're going to have a lot of fun. And hopefully tonight we're going to show you how you can put money in your pocket. So now we're going to run the first clip. And this is from Elon Musk's brother. And this is before the information on the batteries was released, so he had to be careful about what he said. But Judy, let's see what Leon's brother has to say. Hit
it's
it.
going to be really cool. If you draw energy,
can I get volume out here?
You're going to pay 35 cents a kilowatt hour for that. If you draw energy at 3 a.m. in the morning, you'll pay 8 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay. So if you have a battery, you just tell your battery, pull the energy at 3 a.m., charge your battery, and that during the day, don't use the grid, use the battery. So you'll only be paying 8 cents a kilowatt hour in California, so you pay 1/4 the price for your electricity.
All right, Judy, can you come back to me? Is Dave still out there? Can we try to get this thing solved? I don't know why this happens all the time. You know, it's embarrassing. But, you know, you heard what Elon's brother said, and you know what? He said that, I hope you guys heard it, he said that at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you could pay 35 cents a kilowatt hour. As opposed to 3 o'clock at night, you would only pay 8 cents an hour, 1/4 of the price for electricity. So Judy, let's try to play that again and hopefully I can hear it.
No, it's going to be really cool.
God damn it.
If you draw energy at 3 in the afternoon, you're going to pay 35 cents a kilowatt hour for that. If you draw energy at 3 a.m. in the morning, you'll pay 8 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay. So if you have a battery, you just tell your battery, pull the energy at 3 a.m., charge your battery, and that during the day, don't use the grid, use the battery. So you'll only be paying 8 cents a kilowatt hour in California, so you pay 1/4 the price for your electricity.
All right, Judy, can you come back to me? I don't know what's going on out there, but it makes it tough on me, you know? All right, now guys, what I want to try to do is a cost comparison with these batteries. Now, Elon's brother said they could save 1/4 of the price of your electricity if you were to take the power in the dead of night and use it during the day. Now we're going to show you a still from Eversource, which is the old CLMP. So Judy, if you can bring up the still now. Okay, and on this still, you're going to see that we, at Eversource, we have an on-peak rate and an off-peak rate. The on-peak rate is 15.257. The off-rate peak is 11.757. Guys, for you guys that are not mathematicians, and Judy, can you come back to me? That's a 22% difference in the on-peak hours and the off-peak hours. So in California, there was a 75% difference. In Connecticut, there's about a 25% difference. So you know what? Let's be equitable. Let's be fair and balanced. Let's split the difference. Let's say you can save 50% a month on your electricity. Now, let's say your electric bill is $400 a month. If you save 50%, you're going to save $200, right? Right. Okay. Now, the price of the Tesla batteries are $3,500 for the bigger battery, for the 10 kW battery. And you figure with installation, another $500, it's going to be about $4,000 for a Tesla battery. All right? Now, if that $4,000 Tesla battery can save you 50%, if it can save you $200 a month, it would take you 20 months to pay off the battery. Guys, on the 21st month, that $200 that you're not paying for the battery anymore is going deep. It's not going to the shareholders anymore. You're going to redistribute the wealth into your own pocket. You're going to take advantage of the free market, which is something that the Koch brothers hate. They're always in favor of the free market until it goes against them. And guys like Uncle Joey and Marty Heiser and Dave Straight, like they won't admit it, but they're swimming upstream and they're running against the wind. And I love giving them the old bada bing, because these guys refuse to accept facts. They refuse to embrace the future. And why? Because they're ideologically in a box. They can't get out anymore. They're climate deniers, and they got to stick to it. That's it. They've already made their bed. Now they're going to have to lie in it. And that's why I love giving you guys the business, because thermometers don't have an R and a D on it, and satellites don't lie. It's that simple. And you're going to see in the second half of the show how we're going to prove this. But anyway, a lot of you guys probably don't know who Elon Musk is. And I'm telling you, he's the guy that's made so many things happen. But for the new viewers on the show, we're going to give you a quick history of Tesla so you can see how everything evolved and how it developed, and then we'll take it from there. So Judy, hit it.
In 2003, Tesla Motors is founded by friends and engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who named the company for the physicist Nikola Tesla. Elon Musk, the guy we think of when we hear Tesla, became chairman of the board and lead investor a year later, and he helped the company raise $7.5 million in the first round of its funding. The first Tesla was the Roadster. It used lithium-ion battery cells, and it had a range greater than 200 miles per charge. It also cost more than $100,000. The year Tesla celebrated its 5th birthday, Musk was named CEO. By this time, Musk has reportedly invested $70 million of his own money into the company. As CEO, Musk announces the second Tesla, the Model S. Starting at $50,000, it was the first electric luxury sedan. By 2010, Tesla was looking to grow. Enter Toyota. The automotive giant invests in Tesla, helping the company buy a shuttered factory in Fremont, California to build cars. In the same year, Tesla raised $226 million in its IPO. It was the first American car company to go public since Ford. 3 years after Musk unveiled the Model S, deliveries began, and Tesla announced its next car, the Model X, an SUV. Tesla also quietly started building supercharging stations across California. 2013 was a big year. Dangerously close to bankruptcy, Musk actually had a handshake deal with Google to buy the struggling car company. But at the end of the first quarter, Tesla posted profits for the first time since going public. Musk then broke off negotiations with Google. Later that year, 3 Model S sedans caught fire following damage to the car's batteries. Tesla reinforced the battery compartments on all the other Model S's, but the stock still plummeted. Hoping to drive down the cost of batteries, Tesla started construction on a battery factory outside of Reno, Nevada. In 2015, Tesla has more than 50,000 vehicles on the road and 419 supercharging stations.
Guys, if you know anybody looking for work and willing to relocate, Reno, Nevada. You get a job at the Tesla plant, $25 an hour plus benefits, and you'll be treated with dignity, a living wage where you can raise a family. None of the crap that goes on around here. All right, now, the next question you're going to be asking yourself is, why is Tesla building batteries? And guys, it's really simple. Because they finally make economic sense. And what happens is, and this is especially true with the deniers, guys, if there's one thing about green energy you can't deny, when it starts to put green money in your pocket, there's no more denying. When you could put your kid through college from the bottling sunlight, from storing sunlight, you got to be foolish not to. And we've finally gotten to the point where solar and the batteries have reached the point where they're economically feasible. You can actually start to make money. So, Judy, let's see how it's done.
Tesla is making a bet that an enormous $5 billion gigafactory will solve a problem that the power industry has so far failed at: to create a cost-effective battery to store electricity on a massive scale. It starts with small backup systems for people with rooftop solar, great for those who want to live entirely off the grid. But that's a tiny market. For households still connected to the grid, the batteries aren't yet cheap enough to make economic sense. There's a much bigger market Tesla is going after: businesses and utilities. Here's why. In the next 5 years, solar power will make up more than 50% of California's electricity during the sunniest part of the day, and then provide no power at night. Batteries could help even out the power supply by storing electricity from off-peak hours to be used during peak demand hours. Shifting the peak would cut utility bills for businesses like Walmart, which are already testing the new systems. Some utilities are also eager to build battery storage. Power companies must maintain so-called peaker plants, expensive facilities that sit idle for most of the year, but are needed when electricity demand is greatest. Batteries could replace some peaker plants while strengthening the grid. The cost of batteries is falling as fast as the cost of solar panels. Very fast. the tiny new energy storage industry is about to break open, and whether it's from Tesla or one of its many emerging competitors, some electricity from your outlet may soon be coming from a battery.
A couple of weeks ago, we did a show on peaker plants. It was called Ohm Connect. I can't find the thing. But that's what, you know, when these peaker plants have to fire up, that's such a dramatic expense. And if you guys want to go on the internet, if you want to go back to show number 90, we have, it's what's called Ohm Connect. And you guys can learn how you can keep the peaker plants, the peaker plants from coming online, and they pay you for it. I know, you gotta watch the show. It's a little, you know, but you can make money that way. But guys, the next clip, we're gonna show you the Tesla garage mount battery. And the most, when Elon comes on the stage, I tell you, to me, this guy is a rock star. I mean, that's what it's, I mean, you never know what to expect with this guy. Everything he's done has changed the culture of the country. I mean, he's like watching Muhammad Ali in his prime. This guy is everything he does, it gets better and better. And don't forget, Solar City is building the solar panel plant in Buffalo. They're gonna be hiring 3,000 people. It doesn't end. The renewable energy, the new business model where people make money and we all benefit, guys, it's coming, it's here. And the reason why, one is for the money. When people can put money in their pocket, all of a sudden they like green energy. The equation changes. And the next clip we're gonna show you is we're gonna show you Elon introducing the Tesla batteries, and guys, enjoy.
All right, welcome everyone to basically the announcement of Tesla Energy. All right. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is about a fundamental transformation of how the world works, about how energy is delivered across the Earth. This is how it is today. It's pretty bad. So that sucks, exactly. I just want to be clear because sometimes some people are like confused about this. This is real, okay? This is actually how most power in the world is generated with fossil fuels. And if you look at the curve, that's a famous curve, the Keeling curve, which shows the growth in CO2 concentration in the atmosphere. And every year it ratchets up. It gets higher and higher. And if we do nothing, that's where it's headed, to levels that we don't even see in the fossil record. So this is. Well, I think we collectively should do something about this. And not try to win the Darwin Award. For us and a lot of other creatures too. So the way the grid works today is you've got coal, you've got natural gas, nuclear, hydro, and then wind and solar, but not enough wind and solar, obviously. So that's sort of the grid typically in most countries. And then you'll know something, which is that there's quite a big difference in peak to trough usage. So the peak usage is typically at least twice the trough usage. So please bear that in mind. I'm going to reference that again later in the presentation. That's an important point. So what we're here to talk about is the solution. I actually think it's really a fairly obvious solution, but it's something that we need to do. And the solution is in two parts. Part one, the sun. we have this handy fusion reactor in the sky called the sun. Okay, you don't have to do anything; it just works. Shows up every day. and produces ridiculous amounts of power. Okay? Now, a lot of people aren't clear on how much surface area is needed to generate enough power to completely get the United States off of fossil fuels. Most people have no idea. They think that it must be some huge amount of area, like maybe you need these satellites in space and like space solar power. If anyone should be in favor of space solar power, it should be me. But this is completely unnecessary because actually very little land is needed to get rid of all fossil fuel electricity generation in the United States. That blue square there is the land area that's needed to transition the United States to a zero carbon electricity situation. It's really not much. And most of that area is going to be in rooftops. So you won't need to disturb land, you won't need to find new areas. It's mostly just going to be on the roofs of existing homes and buildings. So I really think that image is an important one to bear in mind when people are thinking about solar power. Like, how much will it take? Is it going to take some enormous amount? No, it's just that blue square. Okay. Blue square. Now, the obvious problem with solar power is that the sun does not shine at night. So I think most people are aware of this. So this problem needs to be solved. We need to store the energy that is generated during the day so that you can use it at night. And also, even during the day, the energy generation varies. There's a lot more energy generated in the middle of the day than at dawn or dusk. So it's very important to smooth out that energy generation and retain enough so that you can use it at night. So, now, what you may not have noticed in that earlier slide where I showed the blue square was that there was one red pixel. Okay, in the blue square was a red pixel. Now it's zoomed in so you can see that red pixel. That is the size of the batteries needed to transition all of the United States to being solar with batteries. Okay, it is a very tiny amount. Okay. 1 pixel, just remember that. 1 pixel is the size of the batteries needed for the United States to have no fossil fuel generated electricity. This is no room at all. So not a problem for solar or batteries. Now, the issue with existing batteries is that they suck, okay? They're really horrible. They look like that. They're expensive, they're unreliable, they're sort of stinky, ugly, bad in every way. Very expensive. You have to get some sort of, you need to combine multiple systems. There's not one integrated place you can go and buy a battery that just works, which is what people really want to buy. So we have to come up with a solution. That's the missing piece. That's the thing that's needed to have a proper transition to a sustainable energy world. So the missing piece is what we're going to show you tonight.
Guys, I don't know if we have many investors in the audience, but I got some numbers. This is from a research firm called IHS Sierra, and they're an energy storage company. In 2012, we spent $200 million on energy storage. By 2017, it is estimated that we will spend $19 billion on energy storage. Now, the markets are closed now, but tomorrow morning, and guys, I'm not going to tell you what to invest in, but you start to get the idea. This stuff works. People are going to start to flock to it. You know, you're going to get all the people that feel warm and fuzzy. And even if you feel cold and greedy, it doesn't matter. You could still make money. And that's what we're here for, to make some money, to share, to help each other learn. Simple. Really simple. All right, now the next clip we're going to play is the missing link from Tesla Energy. So Judy, hit it.
So this is a product we call the Tesla Powerwall. And if you look back against that wall, you'll see a whole bunch of them as well in different colors. So you can pick your favorite color, and it looks like a beautiful sculpture on the wall. So it's very important. I want to point out a few things that are very important about this. The fact that it's wall-mounted is vital, because it means you don't need to have a battery room. Okay, you don't have to have some room filled with nasty batteries. It means that a normal household can mount this on their garage or on the outside wall of their house, and it doesn't take up any room. I mean, it's flat against the wall. It has all of the integrated safety systems, the thermal controls, the DC to DC converter. It's designed to work very well with solar systems right out of the box. And it addresses all the needs. If you're thinking about sort of buying a battery, what does this provide you? Well, it gives you peace of mind. So if there's a cut in the utilities, you're always going to have power, particularly if you're in a place that's very cold. Now you don't have to worry about being out of power if there's an ice storm. You can actually go, if you want, completely off grid. You can take your solar panels, charge the battery packs, and that's all you use. So it gives you safety, security, and it gives you a complete and affordable solution. And the cost of this is $3,500. And it's designed so you can stack them on the wall. So if you look at the wall in the back, you'll see that there are some that are paired up. So you can have two. You can actually stack up to 9 of the power walls. So you have, I mean, even if you've got a pretty big thing going on, you can have 90 kilowatt hours. That's a lot. And very importantly, this is going to be a great solution for people in remote parts of the world where there's no electricity wires, or where the electricity is extremely intermittent or extremely expensive. So you can take the Tesla Powerwall and it can scale globally. And in fact, I think what we'll see is something similar to what happened with the cell phones versus landlines, where the cell phones actually leapfrogged the landlines, and there wasn't a need to put landlines in a lot of countries or in remote locations. So people in a remote village or an island somewhere can take solar panels, combine it with the Tesla Powerwall, and never have to worry about having electricity lines. And I think this is going to be great. Having electricity lines are not the most pretty thing in the world. So being able to just have this solution that just works wherever you are, I think is going to be incredibly helpful to people that don't have electricity today. So. So you can order the Powerwall right now on the Tesla website. Actually, go to teslaenergy.com and you can order the Powerwall right now. And we're going to start shipping in approximately 3 or 4 months. And initially, the ramp will be slow because these packs will be made in our Fremont factory. And then next year, the ramp will go much higher as we transition to the Gigafactory in Nevada. So this is a good solution for homes and perhaps for some small commercial applications. But what about something that scales to much larger levels? So for that.
So guys, what is he selling? Uncle Joey, Marty, Dave Straight, Jay Fish, what is he selling? Freedom. He's selling freedom. All the conservatives can buy their freedom and live grid free. You won't need to grid. Hey, I'm grid free. Hey guys, the money goes deep. The money continues to go deep. You can deny all you want. Now guys, let's take this. This is the final clip. Let's take this one step further. What can we do on an industrial scale? And when you see what this can do, industrial, it's gonna knock you off your feet. So Judy, hit us.
So this is a good solution for homes and perhaps for some small commercial applications. But what about something that scales to much larger levels? So for that, we have something else. So we have the Power Pack. So the Tesla Power Pack is designed to scale infinitely.
Oh, that's the
so
way
you literally make this into a gigawatt-hour class solution. you could go gigawatt class or higher. And in fact, we already have one utility that wants to do a 250 megawatt hour installation just using the Power Pack. Now, I think it would be a good idea, this would be a good time to transition the power that we're using in the building to being battery powered, of course. So let's go to the camera feed let's go check out the power meter. Oh wow, the grid, it's actually 0. This entire night has been powered by batteries. Not only that, the batteries were charged by the solar panels on the roof of this building. So this entire night, everything you're experiencing is stored sunlight. So when I say scalable, I really mean scalable. We can do gigawatt class installations with the Power Pack. The whole system is literally designed for infinite scalability. So we could power a small city like Boulder with a gigawatt hour class pack. And we can keep going here. So what I want to do is explore what's really needed to transition the world to sustainable energy. Is this actually possible? Is it something that is within the ability of humanity to actually do, or is it some insurmountable, super difficult, impossible thing? It's not. So with 160 million Power Packs, you can transition the United States. Okay? With 900 million, you can transition the world. You can basically make all electricity generation in the world renewable, and primarily solar, which will be. So, and then going a little further, if you wanted to transition all transport and all electricity generation and all heating to renewable, you need approximately 2 billion Power Packs. Now that may seem like an insane number, and I'm very tempted to do the billion thing, but restrain my hand. But in order to, it's like 2 billion Power Packs. Is that a crazy number? Is that an impossible number? It is not, in fact. The number of cars and trucks that we have on the road is approximately 2 billion. And every 20 years approximately, that gets refreshed. There's 100 million new cars and trucks made every year. So the point I want to make is that this is actually within the power of humanity to do. We have done things like this before. And so it's not impossible. It is really something that we can do. In fact, it's something that obviously we're starting to do with Gigafactory 1. Yeah. So the way we're approaching the Gigafactory is really like it's a product. So we're not really thinking of it in the traditional way that people think of as a factory, like a building with a bunch of sort of off-the-shelf equipment in it. What we're really designing in the Gigafactory is a giant machine. It's really, think of it's like a product of Tesla. We're making this really big product that doesn't happen to move, but it's really big. And that's what we're doing, is Gigafactory version 1. And we're building that in Nevada right now. And there will need to be many Gigafactories in the future. And with I do want to emphasize that this is not something that we think Tesla's going to do alone. We think there's going to need to be many other companies building sort of Gigafactory class operations of their own, and we hope they do. And the Tesla policy of open sourcing the patents will continue for the Gigafactory and for the Power Pack and for all these other things. So we want to show people, that most importantly, that this is possible. That if you look at that's the future we could have, where the curve slowly rolls over and goes to zero, no incremental CO2. That's the future we need to have, and that's something that and the path that I've talked about, the solar panels and the batteries, it's the only path that I know that can do this. And I think it's something that we must do, and we can do, and that we will do.
15 seconds.
So thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope you had a great time. Thanks.
Now, guys, did you notice that Elon said he couldn't do he couldn't do the 2 billion units? Well, I can be a mini me. 2 billion. Can you imagine if we built 2 billion units? Everything is done. It's going to take a couple of days, you know. You guys busy? All right, now listen. The last clip we have on this is going to actually show you the battery backup in an actual real-life situation that happened out in California. This picture might be a little dark, guys, because it's been shot during a blackout, but you're going to see how these batteries are going to be able to benefit everybody. So, Judy, hit it.
It's February 6th, 2015. The power just went down in our neighborhood in a big storm here in Larkspur, California. There's not a single home that has power, except this home. And we've got power here because we have solar panels from Solar City, and we also have a Tesla Solar City battery storage in our garage, and the entire home literally now runs on the battery that's powered by solar, and we don't need the grid. As you can see, we got plenty of light, and we're just going to go down and I'll show you where that battery is. But it worked. The storm knocked out the power, and then it switched the entire home to the battery, which is right here. Here's the inverter that takes the power from the solar panels during the day, and then stores it in this Tesla battery that we've got mounted on the wall, and it worked. Power went off, and the home switched onto the battery, which is powered by solar, which is pretty awesome.
It works. The guys, you know, especially the past few years, there was one time we were without power for 5 days. Another time, I think it was 2 days. So, I mean, hey, this isn't the answer for everything. But if you could save some money, you'd be foolish not to, wouldn't you? I mean, really, think about it. And guys, go online, go to teslaenergy.com, and see if this is for you. And our buddies down at Ross Solar, they're going to be installing them. So we got contacts for you. We'll take good care of you. We'll work together, and I'd love to see somebody get these hooked up, and then we can go and take videos at their house. So if you're going to throw your hat into the ring, do me a favor, go on Facebook under Rich Frasconi and say, hey, Rich, it's going to be a few months before you get them, but guys, I'd love to come out and I'd love to see how it's done, and you'd be helping everybody because it's part of learning. All right, now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to get funny for a while, and we're going to show a clip from Michael Shermer, and this is a clip called The Khan Academy. And guys, this is where the climate deniers get their confirmation bias. And we're going to show you how this works. And it's a funny clip. But I mean, think about Marty and think about Dave Straight and think about Uncle Joey. Uncle Joe's so close to the edge he doesn't know what to do anymore. But think about them while you're watching this, and then we're going to move on to Denialism 101. So Judy, hit it.
I got a better future for me and my family.
I got a career helping others.
One phone call changed my life. I called the Khan Academy.
At the Khan Academy, we believe in you.
Heck, we believe in just about anything.
At the Khan Academy, you can be fully trained and ready for an exciting new career in the paranormal in as little as 8 months.
We know with our hearts and our minds, and because we have a dictionary, that you can't spell confidence without Khan. We looked it up.
That's why we work hard to build confidence in our trainees, because believing really is seeing.
Square.
Hit.
Circle.
Wow, hit.
Star.
That's amazing. You just went 10 for 10.
Really?
No, but you did get this one right.
Oh my God.
And that feeling you're having right now, your clients will feel that too. They'll remember the hits and forget the misses.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Why am I doing that?
Psychologists call this the confirmation bias, where you look for and find confirming evidence for what you already believe, and you ignore the disconfirming evidence. People want to believe, and your clients will too.
But your Khan Academy training won't stop at the classroom door. We go one step beyond with practical, real-world training.
I'm feeling a strong spirit coming through here from the other side, someone who's passed over, maybe an M name, no, an N name. K, perhaps, no, oh wait, no, it's an L? Is it?
Oh my God, my Uncle Larry. He passed like 2 years ago.
Yes.
Does he have a message for me?
Hang on, he does. He says everything is gonna be okay, and that he loves you as only an uncle can.
Oh my God! There's no way he could have known that he was my uncle.
It really is that easy, so don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. Classes are starting soon, and financial aid is available.
We'll have one of our current students help you out with the lottery numbers.
I'm getting a 7.
The Khan Academy, because you may not know what the future holds.
And neither do we.
Guys, did you hear what Shermer said? With a confirmation bias, you look for and find confirming evidence for what you believe, and you disregard everything else. You look at a chart like this, and you completely disregard it. Why? I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know how politically involved you have to be to turn yourself into one of the simple folk who's been brainwashed to think that this chart, and this is a chart from NOAA and NASA, the global warming chart, it's as plain as the nose on my face, and that's plain. When you deny something like that, there's a reason. And now we're going to introduce you, like I said, this is from the University of Queensland, and we're going to introduce you and welcome you to Denial 101X. So Judy, hit it.
Welcome to Denial 101X, Making Sense of Climate Science Denial. I'm John Cook, Research Fellow in Climate Communication at the Global Change Institute in the University of Queensland. This course is produced by the University of Queensland and hosted on the edX platform. Our team is made up of scientists, researchers and professors from Australia, the UK, the US and Canada. who are passionate about communicating climate science. Members of our team also contribute to the Skeptical Science website at skepticalscience.com. I run Skeptical Science, which I founded in 2007 with the simple goal of debunking climate misinformation with peer-reviewed science. Over time, I came to realise that it's crucial that scientists take an evidence-based approach to science communication. The importance of letting the scientific evidence guide how we do science communication has become a driving principle behind everything I do, leading me to pursue a PhD in cognitive psychology. Relying on the science is especially important with the issue of science denial. Why do we need an online course about climate science denial? At the most fundamental level, this course is needed because a well-functioning democracy depends on a well-informed public. People have a right to be accurately informed. But if the public are being misinformed by people who deny climate science, that has social and environmental consequences. The issue of science denial is controversial and inspires a lot of emotions. That's why it's imperative that we take a scientific approach in our response to science denial. We need to draw upon the empirical research into understanding what drives science denial, as well as the empirical research in how to respond to science denial. Denial 101X will examine decades of research into these issues. For the next 7 weeks, we'll examine the science of science denial. At the end of this course, you'll understand what's driving climate science denial and how to respond to it. But before I go any further, let's talk definitions. What do I mean by denial? It's important to state from the outset that in this course, denial is not used as a label. Denial is a process. Specifically, we'll be looking at the scientific research into the psychology of science denial. Why do people reject scientific evidence? What are the drivers of denial? Psychologically, how does denial work? Are there any telltale characteristics of denial? And if so, what are they? And the all-important final question, how do we respond to science denial? We'll distinguish denial from skepticism. Genuine scientific skepticism is a good thing. In fact, it's the heart of the scientific method. A genuine skeptic doesn't come to a conclusion until they've considered the evidence. In contrast, someone who denies well-established science comes to a conclusion first and then discounts any evidence that conflicts with their beliefs. That means that denial and skepticism are polar opposites. So in Denial 101X, we embrace skepticism. We even seek to reclaim the word so that skepticism once again becomes associated with evidence-based critical thinking rather than the rejection of scientific evidence. Science denial results in confirmation bias, in receiving evidence in a biased way. It's not necessarily an intentional thing. In fact, in our lecture, 5 Characteristics of Science Denial, we examine how the trait of denial can come about from unconscious processes. Confirmation bias can cut both ways. Ignoring the full body of evidence can result in alarmist statements that aren't consistent with all the data. So we'll look at alarmist myths as well. What this course is not about is climate solutions. While solutions are a crucial piece of the climate change puzzle, we've deliberately restricted ourselves to climate science and the denial of climate science. Climate solutions is a topic deserving of its own MOOC.
Guys, the one thing I learned from this course is science is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship. It is evidence, and it's the evidence that does the dictating. It's that simple. You know, everybody wants to go, oh, there's 2 sides to the story. Yeah, there's 2 sides to the story. One of them is wrong. And science tells you which one is wrong. That's all. And, you know, stop. Stop. And, you know, I get, you see how worked up I get. Because when you deny charts and you deny facts, you know, it gets to the point where they've brainwashed these poor guys. Uncle Joey don't know if he's coming or going. And he's the nicest guy you'd ever want in the world. But you know what? You watch Fox News, you see the hate day in and day out. Like with the riots that were going on in Baltimore. When there was no riots, they were like all disappointed. Oh man. It's like, hey, get them going, incite them. All right, but then I don't want to go on a tangent. You know how much I love to hate Fox. All right, the next clip is from Jim Cook again, and this is part 2. So Judy, hit it.
Denial 101X includes 6 weeks of lectures. The first week looks at the psychology of denial. What drives people to reject the scientific consensus? Understanding the psychology is crucial because we lay out a framework for science denial that will be used throughout the rest of the course. From weeks 2 to 5, we debunk myths about climate science. Some of them may be familiar to you, and some might be brand new. Week 2 looks at myths that cast doubt on the reality of global warming. Week 3 looks at myths related to what's causing global warming. We'll look at the many human fingerprints being observed through our climate that not only confirm our role in recent global warming, but also rule out other possible causes. Week 4 looks at the past and the future, paleoclimate research into the Earth's past, and climate model projections into the future. Week 5 looks at climate impacts. Specifically, we look at myths that try to play down the impacts of climate change. Finally, in week 6, we answer the question, how do we respond to climate science denial? We look at psychological research into how to respond to denial and give practical advice on debunking misinformation. Throughout this course, we'll include interviews with some of the world's leading climate scientists. We have a few treats for you. I was lucky enough to interview Sir David Attenborough at Heron Island. You'll see that interview in week 5. But giving Sir David a run for his money is another star of this course, Pistachio the koala. And we mustn't forget Christine Hosking, the University of Queensland scientist who researched the impacts of climate change on koalas. Another highlight of the MOOC that I'm particularly excited about is the Climate of Middle-earth, featuring a climate scientist from the University of Bristol, Dan Lunt. We captured so much exciting footage of Dan simulating the climate of Middle-earth that we divided his interview into a trilogy starting in week 4. Assessment is a key component of the course. Each week there'll be activities that further your knowledge about the week's topics, but there are also assessments that contribute to your completion of the course and help you get a certificate in the course. You'll need at least 75% to pass this course and receive a certificate. So what will contribute to your final mark in the course? At the end of each week, you'll have a quiz that will ask you to apply what you've learned during the week. Each weekly quiz makes up 10% of your assessment. So the weekly quizzes will add up to 60% of your assessment. 10% of your assessment is for participation. That includes a survey at the very start of the course, which you can do right now. Look for the link at the top of this webpage. It should be up there somewhere. You'll also get marks for participating in forum discussions each week. These are a great way to interact with your fellow students and extend your learning beyond the lectures. The final 30% of your assessment will come from the end of course assignment. In weeks 6 and 7, you'll be given an assignment to debunk some misinformation from the web. You'll need to understand the science relevant to the misinformation, and you'll also need to structure your debunking consistent with the psychological research. Your assignment will be graded by peer assessment. The way this works is when you submit your assignment, you'll need to read and grade 3 other submissions written by your peers, and 3 fellow students will be grading your submission. Don't worry, we'll provide lots of guidance and even a practice assignment to help you. Denial 101X is also on social media. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. This is another way to engage with our content and with your fellow students. We've put a huge amount of work into assembling all these lectures, interviews, and interactive features. We hope you find our course informative, thought-provoking, and practical. We look forward to hearing your feedback, thoughts, and questions in the discussion forums. So once again, welcome to Denial 101X. We hope you enjoy the next 7 weeks.
Guys, if you want to go online and look it up, I'm sure if you Google Denial 101X, you'll be able to go to get it. And the course is free. A lot of it's videos. You sit there and watch videos, but I tell you, they're very, very well done. And, this is where I got the term a consilience of evidence. And guys, when you start to use terms like consilience of evidence, people know that you know what you're talking about. And that's what this show is about. We learn, and when somebody says something, what do we always do? We look them right in the eye and we say, where did you get your information from? Be specific and name your sources. You'll never hear from them again. You'll never hear from them. So Judy, let's play the last clip. We only got a couple of minutes, guys. And this will be the consilience of evidence, which is the denial consensus.
Imagine you're driving towards a bridge. Have you ever pulled over, taken out your phone, and started browsing blogs about bridge building to decide whether the bridge was safe to cross? Of course not. You trust in the engineers who built that bridge. That's how we form our views on complicated issues. Rather than master a whole body of knowledge, we use a mental shortcut. We rely on experts and trust them to do their jobs. Or failing that, we trust that their colleagues would catch their mistakes before anything goes wrong. Now, in a perfect world, everyone would be aware of all the lines of evidence for human caused global warming.
Guys, you see what he's saying there? We rely on experts. This is not some blog. This is not some guy putting up a blog. We're getting our information from NASA, from NOAA, from peer-reviewed studies, not from bloggers. So, Judy, how much time do we got? Were you going to roll it?
Baby, say goodbye.
Say goodbye. We didn't run the credits, but I'll say goodbye. Toodles, we'll see everybody next week.